Hi, I'm going to tell you a little bit about GarageBand and what it is. GarageBand is a music creation program that's included on every new Macintosh. It's part of the iLife suite and comes already installed on most Macintosh computers. It's a very powerful program and can be used by both amateurs and professionals to create great sounding music projects. There are several different ways to open GarageBand. It might be down on your dock already. You can look for the guitar symbol. You can find it on your hard drive by clicking on the Applications folder and looking for GarageBand under G. And you can also double-click on any GarageBand project that you've already made to open the program. When you open GarageBand for the first time, it'll give you some options about what type of file you want to make. There are several different kinds that cover lots of different skills in GarageBand. We'll start here by clicking on Loops. The first thing it will do is give you an option of what to name your file. Make sure that you choose a name that you can remember. Use part of your own name or a name that's very specific to the project you're making. Here you can select where to save it and hit Create. Your GarageBand window will open up very empty. In another video we'll tell you a bit about these loops. I'm going to drag a few over right now just to give us something to look at. In your top screen along here is something that we call the beat ruler. You'll see that this works just like a ruler, going from 1, 2, to 3, to 4, to 5. Now because we are in 4/4 time, there are 4 beats between each of these measures. If you're a music person, this probably makes a lot of sense to you. Each of these numbers represents one measure, and each measure contains 4 beats. If you aren't a music person, don't worry. The numbers will still help you figure out where you are in your song. If you listen to the music and you tap your foot, you'll probably realize that you tap your foot 4 times for each of these clicks along the line. This main screen here is called your timeline. What you see along this line is what you'll hear. When your playhead, this red line, hits each of the sounds, you'll hear it start. Watch the playhead as I hit play. It started with this loop here, and then when my playhead reached this measure right here, you heard the drum set come in. You heard exactly what you saw. When you add new sounds, you have to put them below the old sounds. If you put them on top, all you'll hear is the new sound. To hear all of them at once, you need to make sure you can see all of them at once. Down here on the bottom is how I was getting my song to start and stop playing. This button is my play button, and I can hit it again to make the song stop. This is a fast forward, it takes me forward 1 measure at a time, and this is a rewind, which takes me back 1 measure at a time. The buttons work just like an old tape deck. If I want to go all the way to the beginning of my song, I can click on this button, which rewinds to the beginning. If I want to make a recording, I can use the record button. I have to have a track set up for recording. We won't worry about that right now. Over here, on the left-hand side of your screen, is your track header. You'll see that it says tracks at the top. Underneath, you'll see tracks for each of your instruments. GarageBand will automatically make these tracks when it needs them. When you find a new sound to drag over, a new track will pop up underneath. Now I have a 4th track for this drum set. Right here, to this side of the track, is the track header. You see a picture of your instrument, the name of your instrument, and several options. When you click on a track, that track is automatically enabled for recording. You'll see this button right here turn red, And unless you turn it off, if you hit the record button, you'll be recording to this track. You have other options too. Let's say that I want to listen to my song and I want to see what it sounds like without this drum part right here. On this part of my track here, I can click on this button right here that looks sort of like a megaphone, and you see that it says to mute or unmute the track. When I click on it, that track will be silenced, and you'll notice that this region right here turns gray. When I go to play my song now, I'm hearing it without the stroll drum. And when I unclick it, it's back in. Now maybe I want to hear just that drum, and if that's the case, I can click on the little headphone symbol right here, which means to solo this track. In this case, everything else turned gray and only my drum is left. When I hit play, I hear just the stroll drum. If I don't want anyone to make any changes to this track, I can hit the lock button right here and the track is locked. Now if I try to slide something, it reminds me that I locked it and that I need to unlock. This is a way to protect your work. Over here on the side of my track is what's called the track mixer. In this section, I can scroll my pan tool to the left or right, which controls which speakers I hear different sounds out of. I can also make some tracks much louder and some tracks much softer. If I want to get even fancier, I can go into my volume envelopes. To get there, you click on this down arrow right on your track header. Right away it says track volume, and it sets up a sound line. This is an envelope, a sound envelope, but think of it as just like a timeline for your track. Anywhere you click on the line, you'll make a little dot. And by dragging those dots down or up, you make the volume of that track go down and up. It's very convenient for fading in and fading out. Now as a shortcut to start and stop the music, I'm hitting my space bar, which starts it and stops it. That's just a quick way to do it. Some of our other videos will tell you how to use the other tools in GarageBand, but I'll quickly show you the names of the other tools. Over here is what's called the loop browser, which you close and open by clicking on the eyeball symbol at the bottom. Each of these things in here is an Apple loop, created by Apple for you to use. When you drag it up, you create a region on this track. One region can be made longer or shorter, depending how long you want it to last. Each track has certain information. To see that information, you click on the letter I next to the picture of an eye. This button over here is your media browser, which shows you everything that you have in your audio files, your photos, and your movies. Over here on the left, you can click a button to add a track if you want to just add it on your own. And you also have an edit button. You also see a timekeeper here. Right now, it shows me what measure I'm in and what beat of that measure I'm on. It scrolls forward while my song plays. I can change it so that I see something different. If I go to time, my beat ruler changes into a time ruler, showing me seconds instead of beats. You can also use this as a tuner for your instrument, and right next to it is your master volume, which controls how loud or soft your entire project is. Go ahead and open up GarageBand, see if you can find all these buttons, learn how to open and close them, and then watch the next video to figure out how to use Apple loops in your GarageBand project.